Specialist Mike Seidel is joining us this morning from Springfield. The snow has fallen. I've been excited to talk with you this morning, Mike. We got some snow in Springfield. Saw some stores south of you, too, in Branson, Missouri. Now it's all about the cold.
It is. It's a bitter cold morning out here. Temperature at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock here in the Midwest in Missouri, 1 below zero. Their first temperature below zero, so obviously their coldest morning so far this season. And the wind chill now 17 below zero. I'll take that over the 40 to 50 below readings we have right now across parts of the northern plains, including Bismarck and Minot. What we've got on the ground this morning, a little over 6 inches officially at the airport at midnight, 6.4. So this is now the biggest snowstorm of the season. It all fell between temperatures of 7 and 17 degrees. So it's powder. But I looked at the liquid of 0.75. That only gives a snowfall ratio, Stephen, of about 8.5 to 1, which is not what I would have expected. I was thinking 15 to 18 to 1. I talked to the Weather Service this morning. They noted that too, and they're going to discuss what's going on. But it may be the fact that the flakes are so small, but again, it didn't match up. I was thinking 15, 18, and sometimes maybe even 20 to 1 when it's that cold. Let me show you I-44, which is wide open. They're still plowing. I took a look at 44 when I drove over the overpass about an hour ago, and most of the road surface is visible. But there's still patches of snow and ice on the road surface. That should melt off today. We're going to have some sunshine, but it's not going to be a bright sunny day. That will wait until Thursday and Friday. And we'll show you video from yesterday. In fact, they closed down this on-ramp here on 44 because there was an accident between here and the next exit 77. They had it closed down for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But the accident of the day, Stephen, was on the Will Rogers Turnpike. That's what they call I-44 in Oklahoma, just inside the Missouri line. And this shut down the road. A semi mixed it up. There were some minor injuries, but the semi was covering dozens and dozens of eggs. And any other year, maybe it wouldn't matter, but you know how expensive eggs are right now. I think the average cost nationally in January was close to $5 a dozen. But there are eggs, cartons all over the road. I hope they were able to pick some of those up because it was cold, so the eggs aren't going to go bad, but I'm sure some of those were scrambled right off the interstate there. Now, let's talk about the cold weather because it's in here and it's going to stay. As I mentioned, 1 below right now. We're going up to 13 today. That's going to be a record low max. Tomorrow morning, we go down to 4 to 5 below. That's a record low. Tomorrow's high right now, we're going 17. That's another record low max. Friday morning, a low of 2 is just 2 degrees off the record of 0. Finally, over the weekend, we finally get above freezing Saturday. So not a whole lot of melting today, even in the direct sun, because as you can see here, we got a lot of stratus clouds. The sun will pop up out from time to time. But on the north side of the street, the shady areas, no melting till Saturday. And the roads, even out here, as you can see, well, you can't really see over the berm, but I can tell you they're snow-packed and snow-covered. About the only road I've seen, the asphalt is I-44. So just take it easy, take it slow. Once again today, Stephen, all schools are closed, a lot of businesses are closed, and even most of the restaurants this morning are closed except for, of course, the Waffle House.
But I hear that those eggs were actually going to be dropped off at the Waffle House. So now what are we going to do here, Mike? I mean, we hate to hear about that. No,
is that really true?
No, I'm only speculating and kind of joking.
Okay. Because I've been digging for information since yesterday and last night and this morning, and I couldn't find where they were headed. But
yeah,
you can see big cartons of eggs on the side of the road. It's like, oh my gosh, I'd rather go out if a Brinks truck had an accident and money was flying through the sky. Would you go for the money or the eggs? It's a tough question these days.
These days, I know, because they're about as good as money. I mean, regardless of it. Hey,
yes.
As long as everyone was okay, you mentioned those temperatures, Mike, and it's brutal out there. Tonight could be awful. So dangerous cold settling in with that fresh snowpack there. Storm specialist Mike Seidel for us in Springfield this morning. Appreciate it, Mike. Were bad. Fox Weather Storm Specialist Mike Seidel joins us now from Springfield. And wondering, we got that cold weather advisory. Could this be something that we get the extreme cold warning from the National Weather Service in Springfield for tonight's weather? It's brutal.
Yeah, they could put that out. the cutoff is 20 below zero wind chills. Our wind chill this morning dropped to 18 below. By the way, we have warmed up. We've got some sun, which is going to help on the roads that have been treated and plowed. It's now up to 1 lonely degree. And the wind chill is a nippy 17 below zero. I want to show you I-44. I hiked up there, got my steps in, worked up a little bit of a sweat trying to stay warm in this bitter cold. And look at I-44 now. We're looking towards the westbound lanes on the left, and you can see in the distance, you can see that some of the road surface still has snow and ice on it, especially in the left lane there. So it's not completely clear yet, but I suspect with the sunshine in a few hours, that's really going to help between the traffic, the sunshine, and what melting component they put on the roadway. Now let's come back up here where we are in Gladstone and look at that video. Again, same kind of deal, snow on the roadway. They have scraped down to the asphalt or the concrete. They've salted or a melting component on there. So they've done their job. Now we have to wait for, well, we have the sun coming out. We have to wait for it to warm up, and it's going to be a long, long wait. Temperatures today going into the mid-teens, 13, 14. That is a record low max. Tonight we go down to 4, 5 below zero. That is a record low. And tomorrow's high, what are we going right now? Currently 17. That'll take 3 degrees off the record low max. So 3 records this afternoon, tomorrow morning, and tomorrow afternoon. When does it finally warm up? Well, it doesn't get above freezing until Saturday. So you got anything in the shade under a tree that doesn't get the sun, there's going to be really no melting at all until Saturday. So your neighborhood streets, things that have been plowed or salted, they're snow-packed and snow-covered, and they will be until we get into Saturday. Then a nice warm-up Sunday near 50. Monday, we may get up to 60 degrees. Remember, the insulation from the sun, the heating from the sun is being used to melt the snow, so that keeps temperatures cooler. It's like being in an ice box with a bunch of ice. Also, you get the reflectivity, so you're sending some of this radiation back, and that's why temperatures the next couple of days won't get to 20. Also, the air mass is super cold. This is, as I mentioned, the coldest air mass we've had this winter. Previously, we got down to 1 below last month. And by the way, Stephen, we did get some decent totals over there near Cape Girardeau and north and west of there and east of here. Oates, Missouri. Patton, Missouri, both with 11 inches, and Knob Lick, Missouri, with 10.5 inches. In this area, generally 6 to 7 to 8 inches of powder. I can show you, it's all powder. I mean, this is just crystal. And no snowballs. If you want to throw a snowball, it's going to be just like throwing snow like that. So that's what we had. Everything fell between 6 and 17 degrees here in Springfield. Nice to see the sun. I can feel a little warmth because now we're 2 months past the solstice. So it's getting back higher in the sky. The days are getting longer.
Yeah.
It won't be long until this is an awful memory.
Or
maybe a good memory for some.
Well, that cold snow, it's just different. You know, it doesn't pack, and really, it feels more like the tundra. There was something, I don't know, Mike, if you can see it. I know you know what I'm talking about. Sundogs, and we're going to show these real fast on air. We had a couple of sundogs reported this morning in Oklahoma City. Nicole Lode's sending these pictures into me. The fact of the matter is, with that sun out, I mean, it was cold. I think we're still in the single digits in Oklahoma City, where they have an extreme cold weather warning this morning, but you see it just off to the right of where the sun is, and they form with those ice crystals that, in fact, you were talking about reflection. This is refraction that occurs with those ice crystals, but you get those sights, so look for them.
We don't have any cirrus clouds right now. It's all stratus. Really, a lot of blue sky, a little alto over towards the east and southeast, but blue sky. Love it. Sun comes out, but don't be fooled. High today of 13 degrees. Oh, by the way, average high 50. So we're going to be 37 degrees below average. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, the lobe of the polar vortex, that cold air straight from the Arctic. We appreciate the update. Keep your eyes peeled for a sundog if you see it, because they're around this morning. Mike Seidel, thank you. Stay. Can't wait to hear just how warm it is. It's been Nice and balmy this morning, Mike.
Well, it feels warmer than it did before the sun came out. I can tell you that much. We're getting that benefit, but it hasn't warmed up much. From 1 below right now, 3 degrees above zero, and the wind chill is 14 below zero. But you wouldn't know it looking out the window maybe, but look at the snow, just beautiful snowpack, 6 to 7 inches, officially 6.4, so that is the biggest storm of the season, topping 6.3 in January. And I want to show you what happens when you have some wind and powder. Now, the peak wind gust yesterday at the airport was 25 miles an hour. Had we had consistent gusts of 30, 40 miles an hour, we would have had numerous roads closed last night and this morning. But fortunately, we didn't get that, and the winds have been basically on the light side this morning, 10 to 15 miles an hour. But you can see how the wind comes up over this berm, and you get some drifting. It's about a foot deep here. And then you get back to the regular stuff. So with that in mind, it is going to stay cold. This acts as a refrigerant. Bottom line, this is a very cold air mass to start with. It doesn't need any help at all. Our high today will be 13 compared to an average high of 50. That's how the difference is. 37 degrees colder than average, and you guessed it, that is a record cold high temperature. We call a record cold max. Tomorrow morning, 5 below, that's a record low, and then tomorrow afternoon up to 16, that's another record cold max. Tomorrow's record is standing at 20. We'll take that off the climate set, which goes back to 1881, 1882. So we're going back 120 plus years to break these records. So it gives you an idea of how cold this air mass is for the third week of February. At least the sun goes higher, and I'm checking out here the highways. Let me show you about an hour ago. I want to show you I-44. Now on the left there, that's the westbound lanes going towards Joplin. And you'll notice in the left lane, the fast lane, and then in the distance, how you've got snow and ice still on the roadway. Now with the sun out, that is going to melt off here in the next few hours between the sun and the traffic and the salt. So that's good. Meanwhile, up here in Gladstone, same kind of scene we had about an hour ago, snow-packed in areas. They scraped down to the surface. A plow just came by again, but they really can't scrape any more off. You can't get every single flake off the roadway. But now I've just checked the road surface up here, and we're starting to see melting and wetness, moisture, not ice. But again, anything that does melt and sticks around will refreeze quickly once the sun goes down this evening. So improving road conditions today on any road that's been plowed and treated. Otherwise, forget about it. Everything is locked in, it's solid. We're not getting above freezing here, Stephen, until Saturday afternoon. So we're looking at areas that don't get the full, the direct sun being solid, frozen solid until Saturday afternoon. Then a really nice recovery Sunday about 50, and by early next week, we could be getting up to 60 degrees in Springfield. And I think the story of the day yesterday, we talked about the big accident down near the state line, on this side of the state line in Missouri, which shut down the highway for several hours. But on the other side, I-44, just on the other side going towards Tulsa, a semi jackknifed, and there was a wreck, and it was carrying eggs. And there are cartons of eggs were everywhere along the side of the road on the interstate. Hopefully somebody scooped some of them up and took them home, but that's some expensive some expensive cargo in this day and age, to be carrying hundreds and hundreds of dozens of eggs, and then you turn over and they're all over on the road. Many of them are still in the boxes though. Again, that was yesterday. I-44 is wide open right now, no closures at this point.
I was actually surprised to see that some of those eggs were okay. I mean, because that truck, a number was done on it, a couple of minor injuries when we look at the drivers that were involved in it. But yeah, that's I guess these days good as gold, those eggs. All right, Mike. Well, stay warm best you can in Springfield. I know I said it yesterday, but the time that I spent in Springfield, never did we have a negative 15-degree wind chill. This is not the type of cold you see every year. No. I think the coldest we got down.
How many years were you here?
I was there from 2013 to 2017. So about 5 years, 4.5 years. And we never had something like that. So I'm
that's saying something.
Impressed by those numbers, yeah. Well, we appreciate it. Storm Specialist Mike Seidel in Springfield, Missouri. The bitter cold, it has
unleashed the Kraken when in terms of temperatures, right? Mike Seidel is out there, my friend. I know. I hope that you're playing it up for the camera, because I know the wind chill right now, my friend, -10.
A lot of exposed skin there.
Yeah. That's a lot of face.
I'm okay.
All right,
I'm okay.
good,
I'm okay. You know, when you shiver, that's your body trying to warm you up. The temperature now is up to 6 degrees above zero. We were down to 1 below with a wind chill of 18 below zero. It is a beautiful sunny day, which is helping out the roads that have been plowed and treated. Otherwise, all bets are off really until Saturday when we get temperatures above freezing. I can prove it to you. The Waffle House, which never closed, thankfully, gave us a... You know, I had 3 meals there yesterday. I did the trifecta at the Waffle House. Nothing else is open. Everything closed yesterday after lunchtime. Look at the parking lot there around the front of the Waffle House. Salted and scraped. So this is what you have. Even though it is 26 degrees below freezing, between the black asphalt soaking up the radiation, the full sun, the sun angle getting higher in the sky, it does the job, and that's what it's doing out on 44. 44 looking a lot better right now than it did even a couple of hours ago when they had some patchy snow and ice on the roadway. So Bob and Ari, it's all about the cold weather now. Our high today, 13, which is a record low high temperature. Tonight's low 5 below, a record low temperature. And the hits keep on coming. Tomorrow's high 16, 17, another record low high temperature. So we get 3 records in a row, and considering the average high is 50 or 51, we are way, 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 way below average. It starts to warm up Saturday afternoon, getting above freezing. So at that point, anything that's even in the shade will start to see some melting. And then Sunday and Monday, quite a bit warmer, 50 to 60 by the early part of next week. But in the meantime, some very cold nights ahead, and the wind chill will drop again tonight with the wind. It doesn't take much to get the wind chill down to 15 to 20 below when your temperatures drop just below zero. You know, 15-mile-an-hour wind will do it. So Bob, this is what we got, a beautiful sunny late winter day here in the state of Missouri. And in this part of the state, we had about 6 to 7 inches of snowfall. It was their biggest storm of the season, and this morning's 1 below is the coldest temperature they've seen so far this season.
Boy, yeah, we're watching. It does look beautiful. By the way, Waffle House, what you go to, man? Is it smothered? Is it covered?
Yeah, hash brown order. We need to know the hash brown order.
What do you do?
Well, no, we don't, no. Very simple. I'll tell you what I get. My go-to is grilled chicken, chopped up, scrambled egg whites, and 1 order of hash browns medium in a bowl. That's my go-to meal. A lot of protein, not a lot of carbs, and that gets me going.
Bob, can you take this, please?
Of course, it's a little more expensive now because of the egg surcharge of 50 cents. And I think you guys heard about the big semi down 44 just inside Oklahoma that overturned yesterday. And then, I mean, dozens and dozens, cartons of eggs all over the area.
Yeah.
So that was some expensive and pricey cargo that gentleman was hauling, and there were also a few injuries. But
yeah,
I saw the eggs on the side of the road, and I asked Stephen this morning, would you rather pick those up, or if a Brinks truck came by and started throwing money out the window? It's a tough question these days.
That's a good question. About
the
eggs,
same,
I know
right?
last month we're averaging about $5 a dozen average countrywide, but I know some places were charging $10 a dozen in the bigger cities.
Holy cow.
Price gouging.
Yeah, that's
Hell
ridiculous. Mike, good stuff as always.
Exactly.
You're the only person I know that eats healthy at the Waffle House. Good for you. there's the picture.
Well,
we actually
you got
have
to
it.
on the road.
You're right.
You know, it is so easy. It's so easy out here to start eating fast food, and you can't do that.
I know.
I'm going to be 70 coming up next year, and
I can't believe that, man.
You just can't do that.
Dude,
yeah.
you're still running and gunning though. You do a good job. We
Killing
love
it.
Killing it. We just had the pictures, by the way, of the eggs on the road. Mike Seidel out there in sub-freezing temperatures, -10 right now is the wind chill, but you're holding up strong, buddy. Good. We'll talk to you in a little bit, man.
Thank you.
Always good. There in Springfield, Missouri. Mike Seidel is up right now, buddy. It's good to see you again. I know it is cold. I know your wind chills have been waffling down there between, I think he said was it -15 at one point this morning? Something like that. Something terrible. You look cold. Mike, what's it like right now, man?
It's warmed up to a balmy 10 degrees above zero.
Nice.
The wind chill 8 below zero, so not too shabby. This morning's low was 1 below. The wind chill was 18 below, so we've warmed up nicely. We've had a lot of sunshine this morning. Now we've got clouds back in here, so that takes away some of that warmth, a little bit of warmth from the sunshine. But I want to show you what happens, even on a day when temperatures are this cold, this far below freezing now, 22 degrees below freezing, we get melting. This is the example I'm showing, the Waffle House parking lot. Look at all that asphalt, it's actually drying out. They plowed, scraped, and salted yesterday and last night. So you got the sun out, even though it's so cold, you've got what we call black body. The black surface soaks up that radiation. Meanwhile, you got the snow, the complete opposite. You get all the reflectivity. That's high albedo. So as a result, we've got some melting there. The road looks good. I-44 looks good, except we have an issue over in Phelps County that's going east from here up towards Rolla. From Rolla back to the east towards St. Louis. Last time I saw on Twitter from MoDOT, the backup is 20 miles and increasing westbound because of a bunch of accidents. So if you're coming out of St. Louis and you want to head down this way, you may want to hang on and wait. But again, that's 20 miles, a backup as of about 30 minutes ago. That's I-44 westbound from Rolla back towards St. Louis. Oof. Boy, you don't want to get stuck in that. Make sure, when you're out in this kind of cold weather, make sure you have plenty of gas and make sure you have blankets and stuff in case the car breaks down. Meanwhile, today's highs, 13 or 14, that's a record cold max temperature. Tomorrow morning, 5 below zero. That's a record low temperature. Yeah, we can do it again. Tomorrow's high forecast to be about 17 or 18. It'll be close, but tomorrow's record is 20. So, Bob, we may set 3 records in a row. We have 6.4 inches of snow officially here. Some totals over northeast of here between Cape Girardeau and Rolla. We had 10 to 11 inches, quite a bit of snow in the Daniel Boone Forest. And so with that on the ground, that acts as a refrigerant. And tonight with clear skies and lighter winds, that is really the perfect setup for some of the coldest temperatures you're ever going to get. And keep in mind, these records go back to 1881, 1882 here in Springfield.
That's a stunning stat right there, Mike. And we're talking about if you didn't have the snow on the ground, all right, it wouldn't be quite as cold. But the fact that you're going to keep it there for a couple of days, that's why it's been just dreadful.
Yeah, Saturday is when we finally get above freezing. So we got to get through today, Thursday, and Friday. So again, anything that's out of the sun, in the shade, under the trees, even though there's no leaves on the trees, is not going to melt. We may get some sublimation where we have a phase change where it goes from solid to gas without the liquid phase, but that's not going to take care of the snow and ice on these roads.
No.
Because the neighborhood streets that haven't been plowed, it's just packed down by cars. So now you've got that packed 6 to 7 inches of snow that becomes like ice and plastic. And even though we're going to get up to 50 Sunday, it's going to take a while for that dense ice and snow to melt. And there'll probably still be some left around, I think, the end of the day Sunday, but Monday will be much better. I can't believe 60 degrees
I know.
Is going to be just delightful. And when you get to that quick turnaround, you go outside and 50 you'll feel like 80. You know what I'm talking about.
You're right, yes. Mike, I got to tell you, it's been a pleasure watching you out there. I know it's cold, but you're doing such a good job. It's always fun to watch. You got one more hit, I think, at the top of the hour, and then go to the Waffle House, my friend. It's right across the street.
No,
you're done?
No.
That's it? Forget about it? No more Waffle House? Anyway, Mike, great to see you,
There's a plane waiting for me. There's a plane waiting for me to take me back to Atlanta, where it's going to be 17 degrees tomorrow morning, for God's sakes.
Oh, balmy.
It's going to be fun, Mike. Always good to talk to you, my friend. Mike Seidel out there in Springfield, Missouri, meteorologist extraordinaire. Love him. Good stuff, Mike.